Welcome back! Now you've already learned how to analyze so much important data, which is going to be a real game changer. In this and in the upcoming lecture, you will learn to track and measure your performances, such as leads and the sales that you're getting. Now this is absolutely crucial information to make sure that you're really getting the results that you're looking for. If you're trying to build an email list, you'll want to make sure that you're actually getting email subscribers. And if you're selling something, you'll want to make sure that you're really getting sales. And like we've seen before, this is a big part of the process of understanding where the high quality traffic comes from. All right, enough talking. Let's get started and start setting up and tracking our leads. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we're not in the demo account because we want to set up our own tracking. So I'm going to go to Robin and Jesper and you go to your own account. And then of course, I'm going to use the Universal Analytics, Google Analytics 3, and then all website data. Now we're going to go down to admin, move to the right where it says goals and click there. And then we're going to click on a new goal. So the first thing we have is the goal setup. We can use a template or we can use a custom setup here. And when it comes to the actual setup, 99.9% of you are going to go fine with a pre-filled configuration. We don't need to make this advanced. You can make amazing tracking by using their template. If you're really deep into coding and you need some super specific information, you can set up your own configuration here. I've never done it, and honestly, I'm not sure if I know anyone who's ever needed this. So we're just going to go by default and use templates and hit continue. The next is going to be the name of the goal, and we're going to call this leads, because this is all about tracking leads, okay? The goal slot is going to be goal ID number 1 is the first goal we're setting up. And then the question is, what type is it going to be? Are we going to track it by understanding a certain destination, a certain duration, certain pages, like when people have visited 3 or 4 or 5 pages, or a certain event, maybe someone played a video on our site. Now, in order to track leads, the by far most effective, securest, and in my opinion, best way of tracking is going to be by using a thank you page. Let me show you how this works. Now, if you pause this video and make sure that you are at the back end of your website so that you can follow me, hope you're back and you're at the back end of your website, we're gonna go to pages. Now, scrolling down in here, I have a page that's called thank you. It's a super simple page. If I open view in a new tab, let me just show you how this looks like. It's a super simple page that just says your sign up was successful. You should receive an email shortly. That's it. Now, the reason we're using this page is because whenever someone is signing up to our email, they will be sent to this page. So we know for a fact 100% that everyone who lands on this page has successfully signed up. There's no other way of ending up on this page other than by signing up to our email list. So that's why it's so important that when you do your email capture, you send them to a thank you page, and this thank you page is only used for people who have subscribed to your email list. So this is the best way of tracking your leads. Make sure that when they sign up as a lead, you send them to a thank you page, and then you track this thank you page as everyone who visits this page signed up as a lead. Okay, so the URL of this page, as we can see, is thank-u, and that is going to be the URL slug. If we go down and we go and quick edit, we can see the slug is thank-u. Now, this is what we're going to be using for our tracking. So I'm just going to copy this and go back. And then it's going to ask me, well, how do we know when someone has actually signed up and become a lead? Well, we're going to say we know that because when someone lands on a certain destination, that means that they have become a lead. Now, if you were tracking something else, remember, goal is open for many types of tracking. You might say, well, we want to track whenever someone, has been on our site for 5 minutes or more, etc. There are many ways to track, but the two most important and the best things to track are going to be leads and sales, and we're starting off by tracking leads, and there's no better way than using a thank you page. Okay, so we're gonna use destination because that's gonna lead them to a page, and then we're gonna click on continue. And then we have the goal details, and rather the destination. So we want it to be equals to, because that means that it needs to have this very specific name in order to be trackable, and that's going to be thank-u. You don't want it to be case sensitive, just thank-u, because that is the name of our thank you page. Could have been thank you sign up or sign up success or registration successful, whatever it might be, but the most basic is just thank you. So once we have that, that's it for it. And then we have value. Now, this is a pretty big deal because if you are running an e-commerce, you want to make sure that this is off. And the reason is because in the next lecture, we're going to set up e-commerce tracking, meaning that the code is going to recognize whenever someone has bought anything on your website and then calculate that cost from your website, okay? So when you're using WooCommerce, we're going to connect it to WooCommerce so that whenever someone makes a sale, that specific sum will be registered in Google Analytics. However, if you are offering a service instead, well, that means that it's going to be a little bit different because you might be selling services through email, you might be selling services by the phone, etc. So you might be wondering, well, what is the value that I'm going to set for my email leads? Well, you need to understand how much a lead is worth to you if you want to track the value of your leads. Just as a reminder, for most of you, this is going to be off because most of you probably don't have a business up and running where you know the value of your sales, where you know the value of your leads and you're running a service. But if you do, let me show you how you can calculate the value of your leads. So let's say that you're running a service and you know that the sale, whenever you get a sale, you make $300. Now, this can either be because you only have one service and that service sells for $300, or you have multiple services and multiple things you're selling, but the average order value, meaning looking at the average amount that you're making per sale, looking from all of the sales, is $300, okay? Then we know that one sale has the value of $300. Now, once again, if you don't have this sort of data and calculations, this isn't going to be valuable to you, but if you do, this is going to be valuable, okay? So let's say that we also have data on our conversion rate. So let's say that we know that per one sale, it takes 100 leads, okay? We have a 1% conversion rate. Per 100 leads, we on average get one sale. I'm gonna reiterate that one more time. It takes 100 leads, 100 email subscribers for you to get a single sale. Okay, then we can do some more calculations. Then we know that 100 leads equals one sale equals $300. So 100 leads equals $300. Now we can make some more calculations. If we take $300 and divide that with 100 leads, we know that the average value of each lead you're getting is going to be $3. Okay, why? Well, because when you reach 100 leads, you're actually gonna get one sale. So if you want to calculate what the value of each of your lead is, well, then you need to calculate how many leads it takes and see what each lead is going to be worth. And because we know that it's worth $300 and it takes 100 leads, we know that each lead is going to be worth $3. So the value that we set up then for this lead is $3. So remember, you can go back and rewatch this over and over to understand, but if you don't have this data and these statistics, you can just skip this part completely. And if you're running an e-commerce, you're not gonna want to set this up anyway. So once again, if you're selling services and you know the average order value and you know your conversion rate on the leads, you can set up the value, you can set the value here. We had 3, right? So then we would set up 3, so we know that each lead is worth $3, and then we can start seeing the statistics in our reports later when we're looking. But we are going to set up an e-commerce in the next lectures. I'm gonna leave this up. And we're also not gonna set up anything specific for a funnel. We're going to read the statistics straight up, and we're gonna leave this more open for our own interpretation. And then we're just gonna go down and click on save. And there we go. Now we are going to get all of the data for our leads by going to the left here where it says conversions. I'm gonna click there and then going down to goals and then clicking on overview. Now in here you can see how many leads you're getting each month. You can compare it to the month, etc., just like before. To show you how it looks like, let's move over to the demo account. We're gonna use Universal Analytics and go to the master view. We are in conversions goals overview, and scrolling down, they're using a different name. They're using register success, okay? And the date range is currently for 1 month. So we can see, assuming of course that this is their actual URL for their leads, that they are getting 2,353 leads per month. Very interesting data, and they've set up multiple goals. They're tracking multiple things, and you can too, but these aren't as important at all compared to leads and the actual sales. So if I want to see how it's actually doing compared to, say, the previous year, I could go to compare to and then set previous year, click on apply. Scroll down, and here we can see registered success. This year, well, we have 2,353 in a month. Previous year, we did 277 leads in a month, an increase by 749%. So you're looking mostly at this left column because we're looking at the total amount of completions, and in the right column, we're looking at the percentage of goal completions. So we are going to want to look at the total amount and compare it year by year, or as we've learned before, we can go up and we can compare it by the previous period. We have a month set up, so it's comparing month by month. Scrolling down, and we can see how we're doing, and we're getting slightly more leads this month than we did the previous month. So once again, once you set up and start tracking your leads, you're going to find it in conversion, goals, and overview. Now in the next lecture, we are going to start setting up our e-commerce tracking. That's huge if you're running an e-commerce, and if you're not running an e-commerce, you can skip that lecture completely. Okay, see you in the next lecture.